What is up guys, welcome back to the channel, and as we are getting closer to the end of this month, it's time for us to check out another episode of top 10 brand new free-to-play games you can play right now during the month of July. And honestly, the last few months has been absolutely stacked with so many awesome free-to-play game releases, and July is no exception. We got some surprise hits, addictive strategy games, shooter games, sport games, and some popular games finally arriving on Steam. And as always, every single game on the list is 100% free to play. You can simply go ahead and download them right now on Steam. Alright, starting off at number 10, we have a game called Rewind. On the surface, this one looked like a pretty simple top-down game, but believe me, this game is way more challenging than it looks. It's a free single-player detective puzzle game where you investigate a mysterious death of a film director who was found floating in a hotel pool. But in this game, your job isn't just to find the killer. You'll need to figure out whether it was actually a murder in the first place, identify the suspect, and then piece together exactly what happened using the evidence you collect. The cool thing is that the game doesn't hold your hand on anything. It just throws nearly 100 clues at you and expects you to connect the dots yourself. So you'll be spending most time reading witness statements, examining evidence, and making your own deductions. It's kind of a game that is a bit slow and obviously tests your patience, and ideal for someone who really enjoys this style of mystery solving puzzle games. Right now the game is sitting on very positive reviews on Steam. Plus the game doesn't have any intense graphics, so it's very easy to run even on the most potato PCs you can find. Alright, at number 9, we have a bit of a surprise that you wouldn't expect to see in a video that we talk about newly released titles, and that is none other than Warface. Yes, the game finally officially launched into its global version, giving a lot of the players around the world to jump back into this one of the longest running free-to-play shooters out there. It was previously known as Warface Clutch, but the game got shut down earlier this year. But this newly released global version is basically the main actively supported version of the game going forward. But somehow if you never played this one before, Warface is basically a free-to-play online FPS with both PvP, online and PvE content. You can jump into classic multiplayer modes like Team Deathmatch, Plant the Bomb, and even squad up with your friends to take on story missions and also special operations. And this new global version comes with one of the biggest benefits, and that is going to be the open matchmaking to a much more larger global audience, which should mean faster queue times and healthier lobbies. Right now the game is surprisingly sitting on mostly positive reviews on Steam, and a lot of people are happy to see the game back again. I personally haven't got the time to jump into this newer version. All the footage that you're seeing right now is from the older version of the game. I'm probably gonna make a dedicated video about it very soon. If you're someone who enjoys psychological horror game that focuses more on atmosphere, mystery, and storytelling, The Lure is a free-to-play horror experience that you should check out. In this game, you play as John, a detective searching for his missing colleague, but things quickly take a strange turn when he becomes trapped inside this mysterious loop where reality keeps changing around him. The gameplay is more focused on exploring this creepy, dark environment, finding clues, uncovering the truth behind what happened, but instead of relying on action, shooting, or crazy jump scares, it seems to build tension through this unsettling atmosphere, cinematic presentation, and some psychological horror here and there. It's a very short single-play experience, only take about an hour to complete, but I gotta mention the game is a bit more demanding on the graphical side, so you need to have a proper RTX graphic card to play this, something to keep in mind. Alright, moving on at number 7, we got another brand new game called Procilio. If someone really enjoyed that old school Robocraft style of games, this is probably going to hit you with a bit of nostalgia. It's basically the modern take on the same idea, where instead of choosing different classes or different vehicles, you build your own from the ground up before taking it into the battles. It's a brand new free-to-play multiplayer vehicular combat style of a game where you're fighting a futuristic proxy war on Mars, and before every match you go back to your orbital workshop to pretty much design and upgrade your next machine. Create pretty much anything that you want: tanks, hovercrafts, drones, planes, even giant walking robots, and each part of your machine can be blown up into pieces, making combat a bit more dynamic and unpredictable. The game just launched into early access on Steam and right now sitting on very positive reviews, so if you're someone who enjoys this style of building crazy combat machines just as much as driving them into the battle, this is a cool multiplayer game to try out. Alright, moving on, next up we have a game that we already talked a bit about in one of my upcoming games videos, and it is called Hyperfist. If you're someone who really enjoyed that fast-paced action and over-the-top combat, this game is going to be a lot of fun. So instead of using guns, you fight your way through enemies using powerful mechanical fists, pulling off flashy combos, uppercuts, grabs, and special attacks in first person. The story is pretty simple and straightforward. You play as Heath, a rebellion punk taking on an evil corporation that turned Earth into a giant parking lot filled with hostile robots. It got that really cool comic book inspired art style with energetic punk rock soundtrack, plus smooth movement and gameplay makes the game really stand out among other games. My only concern about the game right now is that it's too short. You can complete the game within one sitting. It's a fun single play experience, totally free to download right now and also sitting on very positive reviews. If you're looking for a fun, casual multiplayer game that doesn't take itself too seriously, next up we have another new game called Kato Pew Pew. It's a fun, free-to-play multiplayer arena style of a shooter where you're trying to blast your opponents halfway across the map using ridiculous physics. It's chaotic, it's goofy, and it's clearly designed for those moments where everyone in the voice chat is just laughing and having fun. The gameplay is all about fast-paced online PvP, and also one of the coolest things is that it does support both flat screen and also VR if you have a VR headset. On top of that, it has crossplay, proximity voice chat, character customization, and even a ranked trophy system, making it a perfect game to play with your friends on a party night. Right now, it's relatively popular on Steam, having mostly positive reviews, and also you don't have to worry about the system requirements. The game can basically run on any low-end PC. Alright, at number 4 we have another awesome brand new game called Dungeon Slasher. So if you're someone who enjoys games like Dead Cells, Call the Hero, or even Hades, this one is probably right at your home. It's a free-to-play single-player action roguelike 2D side-scrolling style of a game where you jump into these dangerous dungeons, destroy waves of enemies, and build your character with different skills, artifacts, and upgrades. The gameplay is all about creating powerful combination. Everyone give you different choices, whether it's the character you are using or the weapons you pick, or just an ability or a combination together. You have different modes like classic dungeon runs and faster progression focus modes, and even challenging modes for players who want something a bit more difficult. Visually, the game has that 2D pixel art style with colorful characters, flashy attacks, and tons of different boss fights. And for a free single player 2D side-scroller game, the game is pretty popular on Steam at the moment. If this is your style of games, this one is highly recommended. Alright, coming in at number 3, we have another very interesting looking title called Little Increment Tile. If you enjoy this style of building, more like a strategy style of games, for example games like Kingdom and Castles, Banished, or even some idle games like Cookie Clicker, this one is going to be dangerously addictive. It takes that relaxing city building formula and mix it with more incremental progression, so you're constantly unlocking something new. The gameplay is really simple to get into. You land on this small island, gather resources, build houses, and recruit villagers, and slowly turn this tiny settlement into a more thriving colony. And once you develop everything you can on this island, you sail to the next island and start over, but with permanent upgrades that makes the future runs faster and more efficient. It's a completely free single player experience, and it's one of those games that's incredibly hard to put down once you get the hang of it, so simply download it on Steam and try it out yourself. Alright, coming at number 2 spot, we have NTE, and also known as Neverness to Everness, and it's one of those games that a lot of people have been waiting for. Yes, the Neverness to Everness has finally arrived on Steam, making it much easier for PC players to jump into one of the biggest free-to-play launches of the year. And even better guys, this Steam version does support cross-progression, so if you have already been playing the game on another platform, you can simply pick up right where you left off. Alright, for those of you who never heard about this game before, it's a massive open-world action RPG set in a modern city where supernatural anomalies exist alongside everyday life, and you gotta explore the city, drive cars, customize vehicles, battle monsters with a team of unique characters, and even take part on some side activities like running businesses, fishing, and other urban life content. It got a GTA style open world with so many side activities to do, but obviously with an anime art style. It is mainly a single player story driven adventure, but also includes some online and social features. There's no surprises, the game is very popular on Steam at the moment. It was already available on their official website with a direct launcher, but now you don't have to worry about any of that. The game is directly available on Steam and it is totally free to play. Alright, taking the number 1 spot, we got a game that honestly came out of nowhere, and it is Striker Club. And it's one of those surprise releases that kinda instantly grab people's attention, mainly because of 2 reasons I think. First, of course, because of the Football World Cup, and also it's very similar to Rematch, the popular arcade style football game where every player can control their own character on the pitch. But the good news is that unlike Rematch, you don't have to pay that hefty price tag because this game is totally free to play. So instead of controlling an entire team like in FIFA or football. In this game, you control just one player on the pitch. Whether you want to be a striker, midfielder, defender, or even a goalkeeper, every position has its unique roles and mechanics. If you're someone who's not that familiar with the football, it can be a bit challenging to get into, but ultimately it's all come down to good positioning, smart passing, teamwork, and some individual skill. The game also includes all the proper football rules like throw-ins, corners, fouls, penalties, and offsides, but focus more toward that arcade-style gameplay. The game already built on a strong community on Steam, right now sitting on very positive reviews, plus around 10,000 daily concurrent players, which is very surprising. We have seen few new football games like this came out during this World Cup season, but I would say this one is the best one to come out yet. Well, there you have it guys, 10 of the best brand new free-to-play Steam games you should check out right now during the month of July. And let me know down in the comment section which games you're trying out first, and if I missed any good ones, any new games that recently came out, drop it down in the comment section as well. And as always guys, if you enjoyed the video and also if you want to stay up to date with all things related to free-to-play games, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned to the channel as you're so close to 75,000 subscribers. Thanks for watching, I'll catch you guys in the next one.